Next up, we have George Fullerton coming in live, discussing the most important organelle.
Thanks, Matt. So, what's the most important organelle, you ask? Well, that's easy. Any organism with a nucleus can figure that one out. All you have to do is ask yourself, what one thing is so important that not only would the organism itself die, but the whole world would cease to exist as we know it. This, of course, leads you to one conclusion. It's a chloroplast. Duh! Chloroplasts are made from relatively few things. It has an outer membrane, an inner membrane, a stroma mammalia, a stroma, a thylakoid, a granum, and an inner membrane space, along with chlorophyll, of course. Although it has made up of relatively few things, its function is immensely important. It performs photosynthesis, which is defined by the process which green plants, algae, diatoms, and certain forms of bacteria make carbohydrates, form carbon dioxide and water in the process of chlorophyll, using energy captured from sunlight by chlorophyll and releasing excess oxygen as a byproduct.
Thanks, George. A normal chloroplast is enclosed by two membranes separated by a narrow inner membrane space that constitutes an outer compartment. The inner membrane encloses a second compartment containing the fluid called stroma. The stroma surrounds a third compartment, the thylakoid space, delineated by the thylakoid membrane. Interconnected thylakoid sacs are stacked to form structures called grana, singular granum, which are further connected with thin tubules between individual thylakoids. Photosynthetic enzymes are embedded in the thylakoid membranes. Free ribosomes are present in the stroma, along with copies of chloroplast DNA.
Well, thanks, Matt. But doesn't that sound like a bunch of scientific nonsense? Let's be honest, you don't want to hear about what it's made of, you want to know what it does. So I'll tell you, in the simplest way possible. Most importantly, it recycles carbon dioxide and makes oxygen. Almost everything needs oxygen, and I mean almost everything. Humans need oxygen, birds need oxygen, dogs need oxygen, fish need oxygen, camels need oxygen, kangaroos need oxygen, Loricifera need... well, actually, they don't need oxygen, like a few other organisms, usually bacteria. But who's ever heard of those anyways, right? The main point is, without chloroplasts, there's no photosynthesis. And without photosynthesis, plants won't be able to make ATP, and therefore can't keep growing or even sustain life. So they'll die. What's that you say? Lysosomes are the best organelle? Yeah, right. That's more ridiculous than this big bag of green M&Ms. Lysosomes have at least 50 genetic diseases that occur when the enzymes in lysosomes have too much, too little, or no enzyme at all. This can lead to such diseases as Farb, Danon, and even Hunter syndrome, which can cause dementia, deafness, enlarged liver and spleens, and many other things.
See this, baby? Peroxisomes kill babies. When H2O2 builds up in the body due to a peroxisome malfunctions, Zellweger's syndrome takes place, which is a disease that causes brain damage. Babies only have a month to live. Are you a baby killer?
Don't get me started on mitochondria. When mitochondria get messed up, ATP isn't created properly in the cell. And since ATP is in almost every single thing in our body, it can lead to such things as poor growth, loss of muscle, and even heart, liver, and kidney malfunctions, along with many other things. Mitochondrial dysfunctions can be caused from disease, infections, and other environmental effects, along with being passed down with the X chromosome. Thanks a lot, Mom.
Everyone's heard of the cytoskeleton. What they don't know, though, is that when the cytoskeleton malfunctions, it leads to neurodegenerative diseases, such as Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and ALS. Yeah, some bad stuff. People lose control of their bodies and their minds. Don't even get me started on the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus is where everything goes wrong. The Golgi apparatus makes lysosomes and peroxisomes, so that those organelles independently get messed up. Also causes nutrients to not be distributed throughout the cell. And when nutrients aren't distributed throughout the cells die. In conclusion, vote chloroplast, because it's the building block of life.